Guys, long time no see.
It seems like forever.
It seems like forever. As I mentioned in the first session, we would have to continue this session a little bit further. So thanks for staying. We managed to make sure that you're not going to miss your flight.
Perfect.
We haven't changed, but it's fine. We want to continue this conversation. So thank you very much again for being here today. John, thank you very much, Kai, for being here today. And very much looking forward to continuing our conversation where we left it on session 1.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you.
Let's get it
Bring it
started
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed your somewhat discomfort saying that, you know, maybe you were talking about AI, but not knowing what it is that you're talking about or, you know, anything like this. It comes back to the culture in some ways because you're being very honest about this.
Yeah.
And you're just laying out the cards on the table saying, guys, you know, look, I'm going to be on this spotlight.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe exposing something that I might not know, but maybe you know better. So how much do you think you give importance to the tech team when it comes to enhancing your product versus your background from what it is that you hear from your sales team and account team or anything like this?
I mean, I think it's like Kai said, it's very collaborative. And I think just going back to your point, I think what you have to do is you need to know what you're good at.
Yeah.
And also know what you're not good at.
Yeah.
You know, and because, you know, I'm continually asking questions to the tech guys because I want to learn.
Yes.
But I'm, you know, and again, we have this, you know, the culture we have, if you don't know, ask.
Yes.
There is no such thing as a dumb question. Believe me,
Yes.
you know, there isn't. So, you know, so we'll ask the questions and get the answers. But I think, you know, but just picking up on knowing what you're good at. Because one of the things that we're doing in Kalamba now, so we're really good at doing slot games.
Yes.
We actually have done a couple of crash games. Not to this. They haven't been as successful as our slot games. You know, I thought the guys did a phenomenal job, but you know, it's a very, very competitive market, and obviously there's one market leader that you know is smashing out of the ballpark.
Yes.
But one of the key things that you know, from the beginning, again, you know, Alex and Steve's, you know, the thought process, we always wanted to have our own RGS. So we developed the RGS, and Kalamba Games are distributed via that RGS. Now we're good at slots. We've got a wonderful distribution. We have wonderful relationships with, you know, a lot of, you know, all of our operators. So what we're doing now is we're taking, so we've got our RGS, you know, developed by developers, basically. So they understand what the challenges are in developing games on an RGS, and our RGS is built to make that as easy as possible. We're good at slots. What else can we offer to our customer client base that we don't, you know, that we don't currently develop? So what we're doing now is we're starting to sign up new providers, so that are going to complement our, you know, our offering into the market.
Okay.
So you become not only relevant in slots, but you're also offering, you know, we've got conversation developers doing crash games.
Yes.
We've got Speedy Tomatoes, our wonderful power poker partners. But again, it's about knowing what you're good at.
Yes.
You know, and then going out and finding people that are good at things that you're not good at or you're not as good at. So again, part of the strategy for next year is, well, it's already started. We've already got a number of partners on board. Is leveraging our, you know, our great tech, our RGS Bullseye, getting you know, hugely talented developers to start building games on that platform.
Yes.
And then we will then further enhancing our proposition to operators, because we're now not just a slot provider, we're a power poker provider, we're a crash games expert, we're a, you know, all these different things that we're trying to bring to the market. So you know, because obviously from our perspective it enhances our reputation, it gives us opportunities because we're bringing more to the table, for want of a better description, but also we're capitalizing on, you know, 7 years of development of the RGS, which was always the plan anyway. And hopefully, you know, supporting, you know, new developers to, you know, on their journey, learning from all the lessons, all the lessons that we've learned along the way. So, so like I say, it's again, but it does come back to this point: know what you're good at.
That's you mentioning a very important point when you talk about your plan for 2026 in regards to working with other partners. What I'm thinking about is the importance of the documentation or documenting what it is that you are good at collecting when it comes to slots. But maybe, do you have a plan in collecting also what it is that your partners will report to you in order to enhance this sort of relationship that you currently already have with the operators?
Yeah, it's strategic partnerships. So as John said, it's like, okay, well, maybe we're struggling in this market because we just can't develop the right crash game for it. So let's go to someone who can do it. So it's all strategic, and it's not, we're not taking this approach of let's bring on as many partners as quickly as possible because we just want to make money as quickly as possible.
Yes.
No. It's strategic, it's nuanced, it's focused, and it's just going to take time because
Makes
we're not
sense.
doing it the volume way, we're doing it quality, not quantity. And ideally they buy into the procedures that we have in place, and it makes sense because that's what our success has been built on. Is culture, procedure. One of the things that I think we do really well is service. We service our clients at a very high level.
Yes.
And we've had tremendous success because of that. Again, we might not be the biggest.
Yes.
But a lot of our clients really enjoy working with us because it's an authentic interaction. We see it as a partnership.
Yeah.
They're not
agility
client,
as well.
Well, they're not. We don't see them as clients. We see them as partners. And
Indeed.
that might seem corny, but it's true.
No.
We grow with them. We grow together. We help each other. We're all trying to service each other in a different way, right? So they're getting something out of it. We're getting something out of it. But you can do it in such a way where you genuinely care.
Yes.
And I think that's important because people can see if it's disingenuous. So hopefully we can bring these guys into it, leverage that experience and the lessons that we've learned, and maintain that high level of service because that is critical to success, long-term success. Yeah.
I can relate to the things you're mentioning, finding the new partners and etc. We spoke about media. It's also the same principle. You don't have all the solutions, but it's about bringing the different components to offer the best solution for your clients, basically.
It's a holistic solution. This is the logical next step for us as a company, right? Because, as John said, we've built this fantastic RGS. Let's leverage it now as much as possible. We've spent the better part of 5+ years building these long-term relationships where we have implicit trust with our clients. Let's leverage that. Let's leverage their trust and now graduate to the next level where we're not just a studio anymore.
And I think, and in just following up on that, I mean, I think one of the things that we did, and Kai, Mikkel, and G, did a phenomenal job, is that we're continually receiving notifications. I've got the senior management of all the gaming operators in the world, type thing, and it's only going to cost you $5,000 for this, for this report, what have you. So we were looking at it. We're going, but we work with thousands of operators. We engage with these people all the time, and so what we did is we said, well, let's just build our own. We've got, so basically all of a sudden we've got hundreds and hundreds of details in terms of who the contacts are, what markets they operate in. Now that's purely for internal, it's internal use. We're not looking to sell it or anything, but again, it has an absolute value as we move forward with our developer partners in terms of, it's not just about the support, professional support and stuff. It's actually, guys, like we can support you with a customer client base and contact base that, would be it's took years to develop. It's got thousands of contacts on there. So it's just all about that. Getting the processes in place to make sure learning from the mistakes that we have made. Yes, we have. Carmen's come in as the business development director, and one of the, what she's done a phenomenal job because in just putting processes together.
Yes.
Because like I said, we've been working, sort of our butts off really for the, over the last, 3 years, really getting us, getting on this trajectory, and pushing hard. And it is about that consolidation, isn't it? And just making sure that we're now in a position to really kick on. We're not a starter anymore. We're gonna, we want to reach for the stars, and you've got to have that infrastructure in place. But
the basis that you were talking about, right? The documentation, collecting information, insights, but still keep the DNA intact, any of the values of the company, honesty, transparency, or so you were mentioning. And
reputation is paramount. I mean, we see it all the time in this industry. It's very fluid. People come and go.
Yeah.
Now, they might work with you today, they might work for you tomorrow, you work for them tomorrow. But
Yes.
the point is, if you've maintained that integrity and reputation and trust, chances are you're going to work with them again at a different operator. Right? And they will
Absolutely.
take that with them.
Yes.
And that trust, if it's maintained, can last from multiple different companies. So very important to long-term strategic goals being realized. And I think also, like you speak about the RGS and the platform, but because we're now in a position where I hesitate to say comfortable, but we're starting to, again, see success, right? And that gives you, what does that give you? Well, it gives you more budgets to experiment with things, to innovate. So it's all this kind of symbiotic thing, right? Where as you grow, then you can afford to take a few more risks.
Yes.
And, we spoke at the beginning of this conversation, innovation always been at the heart of what we try and do. A great example of that is the progressive tournament tool. Again, we're coming into the market with an established mechanic. Now, everyone has tournaments. Operators have tournaments.
Yes.
Suppliers have tournaments. They're all competing against each other. How are you going to differentiate yourself? What makes you unique?
Yeah.
Okay. So we come into this strategy thinking, okay, well, we need to sell a tournament to complement cash drops. What are we going to do that's different? So very simple. We're going to take the existing traditional leaderboard, okay, where let's just say in the qualify criteria to be ranked on the leaderboard is a highest win multiplier. Let's just keep it simple. And you don't want to deviate too much from that because, again, there's a reason why tournaments are successful because players recognize them, right? Don't make me think. Again, keep it simple, right? Now, we've got that intrinsic fundamental look and feel of the leaderboard. Don't want to change that. What can we introduce that makes it a little bit more exciting? We came up with this idea of a multiplier and a tournament that essentially progresses. If you're familiar with progressive jackpots, it's kind of a similar concept, right?
Yes.
So what you do is you attach a multiplier to, say, the first 5 positions in the leaderboard. And in day one, the players come into the tournament. Let's just say it's a 7-day tournament. Day one, they come in. The prize pool is 2,000 euros. Just keep it simple, right? By day 2, as the bets have accumulated in that tournament, the multiplier is applied. And remember, this is all self-funded, right?
Yeah.
So we're taking a contribution from RTP to fund the prize.
Yeah.
And how does that work? Well, logically, the more bets increase, the higher the prize pool is going to increase. It's a reciprocal relationship. So day 1, they come in, the prize pool is 2,000 euros. By day 2, the bets have accumulated. The multiplier is now applied to those first 5 prizes. Now that prize pool has gone from 2,000 euros to 4,000 euros.
Yeah.
That's in 2 days. By day 10, you've got a position where your prize pool is upwards of 20,000 euros. Again, all self-funded. What is the player seeing? They're coming into day 1 and they're saying, oh my goodness, this prize pool is increasing day by day. I'm incentivized to stay locked in.
Indeed.
To maintain my P1 position because my prize at P1 is going up by a factor of 2x every day.
Yes.
Very simple solution. Not complicated. How do you get the player to stay in a leaderboard for as long as possible?
It's true. So basically, they are anticipating the price to double on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Therefore, they can already think, or not too much.
Yeah.
Because it's just a multiplier.
Yeah, well,
simple
it's in the
multiplier,
rules.
so
if
they can expect it.
Yeah, they can expect it. If they read the rules, it tells you exactly what's happening.
Super simple.
Super simple. And again, UI, so important. How do you communicate that effectively and simply?
Yeah.
And not just for the player, but for the operators, because they need to buy into it, right? So I'm not going to go to an operator with a spreadsheet that shows how the algorithm works and how the multipliers are applied and this goes up and that. I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to say, this is the simplest thing in the world. You know, double your prize pool in 2 days, quadruple it in 4 days. For the player, what they're seeing in the promotion panel, and hopefully in post-production we can add a little image that shows this, because I think it's done very well, is they're seeing the leaderboard like you would, and they're also seeing that accumulation, that progression of each prize, and they know it's coming. So they know that the prize is progressing. It's not a secret.
No.
And we want to build that anticipation as well. We want them to stay locked in for as long as possible because they anticipate that prize increasing. Something that is just a very simple solution to a long-standing mechanic, a long-standing promotional mechanic, not trying to change it completely, not trying to revolutionize it, just adding that little iteration that makes it unique and that maintains the player engagement, right? And we've seen massive success with this tool, even more so than with cash drops. And cash drops, bear in mind, has been our flagship product for the last 2 years, the better part of 2 years. This is completely overtaking cash drops. But the beauty of these of progressive tournaments and cash drops is they work really effectively together.
Yes.
It's targeting two different needs of the player. Cash drops, cool, instant prize. It's like Christmas or your birthday. You don't need to do much for it. You just need to play the game and you get a prize. Free. Okay? You get that prize, go straight to your wallet, very simple. But as people, we like to compete, right? That's where the leaderboard comes in.
Yep.
So you're ticking two different user experiences that are both very important to acquisition and retention. It's this instant gratification, which we all love,
Yes.
right? Especially in this generation. They're often called the instant gratification generation. That's the prize drop, the competition element, and this anticipation of winning a bigger prize each day. That comes in with the tournament. So you put those two together, you've got a winning recipe for player engagement, acquisition and retention. And I think that's where we've done a fantastic job in the innovation is, again, not trying to overcomplicate anything, just trying to find a little bit extra that we can, change the game.
I like the concept quite a bit, to be honest, because I'm not a big player. I have to admit it. I know I work in the industry, but I don't play much.
Yeah.
But being in a situation where I can compete against others and already see the carrot hanging there and know what the carrot's value is, is a different incentive that I might be tempted to to go after, because I know what's at stake.
Yeah.
Most of the time, as you were saying, you might not know, but I think that this competition type of approach is something that I had thought about a while back, but no, I like the concept of it. I don't want to brag or anything like this, but I was like, people play, but don't always know whether they're gonna win something. Or if they win, they don't know what they could. Yeah. But in this instance, well, the more you play, the more likely, and if you play well, the more likely you're gonna have that carrot.
Well, I think that's a great point you mentioned now. So why do people play slots?
Yeah.
You'd say, well, they play to win. Now that's obvious, right? You want to play because you want to win something. But I think more relevant and more important is people play to be entertained.
Yes.
Whether that's playing your PS5 and playing FIFA or playing a slot game or watching the football and placing a bet on your sports book, it's entertainment.
Yes.
Right? So if a player leaves your experience, win or lose, as long as they feel that they've been entertained, that's a big part of your job done.
True.
If they feel entertained, they're probably going to come back, win or lose. Now, obviously, it's great for them to win. You want them to win, right? So you want them to get that random cash drop, and you want them to win on the tournament. Yeah. But if you've built the anticipation and the excitement behind that experience, even if they haven't won, the chances are they will come back to that experience again. And we see that time and time again. Again, talking about success metrics, player numbers. Do player numbers increase? That's a massive thing that we look at, right? It's like, are players coming back?
Yes.
And are they playing these tournaments or cash drop campaigns time and time again? Yes, they are. That's a big part of the success metrics that we're looking at is, do they enjoy it? Are they entertained? Do they come back? What is the drop-off? And if there's no drop-off, which there isn't in the case of these engagement tools, then push the hell out of it. Keep pushing it, because that's what the player's looking for, is to be entertained.
And I think, and just picking up on that with the promo panel itself, obviously a marketing man, with yourself, it's, if you look at sort of player engagement when they're on site, probably 90% of the time they're in a game.
Yes.
So they're not looking at the lobby, they're not looking at what the latest offers are, etc. They're in the game. So one of the things that the promo panel does offer is it also offers the capability to communicate to a player while they're in the game. Now at the moment we use it predominantly, well, completely to give the player details around what their position is in the tournament, how many drops are left if it's a cash drop campaign, how much time is left. However, there is also the capability to put messaging in that panel as well. Now that would obviously not, it's not a Kalamba message, it would be a casino message. But again, this is just part of the this is part of the innovation. It's like keeping it simple requires a lot of thought. So it's not just about the promotional tools. The promotional tools obviously are working phenomenally well, but the panel itself was developed for that reason as well. So to communicate about the promotions, but to also communicate to the players. which, like we said, 90% of the time they're in a game. And again, this is something that we'll be looking to push forward with our operator partners moving forward, working completely collaboratively with the operator. With certainly no intention of putting any messaging in there unless it's exactly in line with what the operator wants to do. But it is something new, and I don't know whether anyone else has that capability, but it certainly was part of the process in terms of that development. And again, it's something new. It gives the operator another opportunity to engage with their players about whatever they want to engage with their players about. And again, built on the concept of keeping it simple, but it's not that simple when you're developing it.
Yeah.
It seems like the keeping it simple and the don't make me think is something that resonated well today.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm a very, very simple. But I always try and bring it down to the simplest. Anything that I do is always trying to bring it down to the simplest.
Yeah, I hear simplicity in the way you communicate with your clients, in the sense that you are listening to them rather than making most of the talk. The simplicity also comes from the fact that you have close relationships with your clients, in the sense that you're collecting the information that is needed for you to make simple implementations and enhancement to the game itself. So I think that this is a really good takeaway here.
So again, just picking up on, certainly from our perspective, one of the benefits, I think, Kai, you made the point previously, one of the benefits of, sort of being on a really good, strong trajectory is the capability to invest in regulated markets.
Yes.
And expanding our distribution within regulated markets, which is a core strategy for us. And again, sort of following up with that, in terms of enhancement of our proposition, is so we've done we're working exclusively with Baum, which is a Romanian land-based operator, who are looking to get into the obviously online market. So we're the exclusive partner for them. They are building their games onto our RGS, and on the back of that, Kalamba Games is going into Romania as well. So that's a new market for us. We're in the process of applying for our Greek license as well. And again, this comes back to the conversations that we have with operators. It's like, if sometimes you might have a blocker if you're not in a certain market.
Yeah.
And it's, so we have the conversation, well, we can't give you too much traction in that market because you're not in that market. And then we will go away. We'll have a conversation with Alex and Steve and say, look, we think that there's obviously a massive benefit with entering into that new market, but there's the knock-on effect is you'll get more engagement in some of the existing markets you're already in. But because you're not in that market, you're not a high priority. So we got Greece coming in Q4. We've then got Ontario in Q1 next year.
Just gone live in Switzerland.
Just gone live in Switzerland. Are now live in Brazil.
Very good.
So obviously regulated markets are a key part of the strategy as well. Largely, and I think it goes back to this whole trust, sort of being responsible, reliable. We all know that being in a regulated market, you've got to do things the right way. And we certainly pride ourselves in, on doing that. Sometimes to our detriment, we're probably a little too honest sometimes, if I'm truthful.
Yeah.
But that will never change, because that is, that's core to the philosophy of the business. But, working in the regulated markets, I think, is another demonstration of, what we stand for.
Yeah.
And our maturity as a company as well, how we've matured and progressed is, we have to validate all of these. Again, you can't just go into every market. You've got to do cost analysis, projections of ROI over a certain period of time before you can justify doing it. There's always going to be an element of risk and unknown when you enter into a new market. But it's the logical progression of where we are now is to focus as much on regulated traffic as possible, to play within the confines of those restrictions. Again, going back to product and engagement tools, there's a lot of restrictions in the regulated markets. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because that in itself forces innovation. You have to be innovative if you're operating in very strict parameters, right? And that's where a lot of great ideas come from. Is when you're forced to come up with great ideas.
Absolutely.
And that sense of urgency comes with that, So, and adapting and pivoting your strategy to, again, not a one-size-fits-all approach, but this might work in Netherlands, but it's not working in Brazil, etc. bringing in the third-party content, big
Yep.
part of our market's expansion. Is all right. We know Crash and Instant Games do really well in Brazil. We've just gone live in Brazil. What can we do to funnel content there, and who's going to do that as efficiently as possible for us?
Indeed. So let's say you have one solid product, that being slots. You're working with partners to have other products. Those partners might already have a footprint or a presence in a market where you are not. That would give you an opportunity to actually step in and offer the whole realm of other products that you know your partners are good at, plus yours, basically.
Exactly. So in some cases, they might have the network already established.
Yeah.
In other cases, we have the network, they have the product, right? So it's, again, like both sides are winning.
Yeah.
We're giving them exposure.
Yeah.
They're tapping into our connections in our network, and they've got a great product that we need.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But and again, I think, you know, touching on what Kai was saying before, but this is not a pile 'em high, you know, ship 'em out type approach. There has to be a clear strategic benefit, not only in terms of the product, but as the people themselves as well. So, you know, we've got a great relationship with Asco and Speedy Tomatoes. You know, that they're growing exponentially, and you know, I think we're going to see some fantastic things from them in 2026. You know, again, Baum, it's been a great working with them. You know, and again, you know, it's a very different environment for them, and I hope that, you know, you'll need to speak, but I'm pretty sure they're really valuing, you know, sort of the support and the insight that we're providing to them, in order as we move that product forward. And like I said, and obviously the enhancement for us is that we're able to go into a new market on the back of it, which is great. And then some of the, you know, a couple of the other partners that we're working with, you know, certainly based on the conversations that I've had, absolutely great bunch of guys. Really got some really interesting games that you know that they've demoed for us, and again, I think the reality, yes, we are. I think, you know, we're doing a phenomenal job in slots, but look, hopefully, you know, they will come in with, you know, we can have different conversations, and yes, we might be able to sort of provide them some, you know, beneficial development from the Crash game perspective, but hopefully they may come in with some, you know, interesting ideas from a slot game perspective as well. So yeah, it's like I said, it's really exciting times, and but it's all built on effectively the plan that Alex and Steve put together sort of 8 years ago. You know, and so as I said, sort of very exciting period for the business. You know, we've got to make sure that we maintain the momentum that we've had, and you know, that's always a challenge. You know, sort of things can come and go, people can leave, and all this sort of stuff. And it's like that, as Kai mentioned before, and that's why it's so important just to maintain, be nice fundamentally. You know, it's like why I don't really understand why anyone would want to go into a conversation with a partner or anyone else for that matter and not want to be nice. You know, and as I said, Kai and the team are doing a phenomenal job in that respect. So yeah, it's we're in a good place, and I don't anticipate the work will ever stop, any being a million miles an hour, as is the industry. It is. I mean, and which is part of the thing that I just love with the industry is that it never stops. There's always another opportunity.
Yes.
I was having a chat with some friends of mine, and you know, sort of, you know, very successful guys, and they're used to a bit of seasonality. You know, so there is always a bit of time when it just lulls a bit.
Yes.
You know, so that's where you take your time. Whereas you know, gaming is you're operating 100 miles an hour, and you've still got to be looking how you develop the engine while you're going at 100 miles an hour.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
But like I said, love it. You know, this week's a perfect example of the mad, you know, sort of how it can be. You know, a couple of days in Spain, a couple of days in Malta, back to the UK, and you know, like I said, doing this. You know, really enjoyed doing this, and I'm jumping on a plane back to the UK. So it's a bit mental, but it's good fun.
Good. When are you coming back?
To be honest, I probably won't be back again this year. We've got a couple of trips planned where we're going to go and see operators. So again, part of, you know, the strategy that we do have is that we do go to some of the main events. But at the same time, what we prefer to do is go and visit operators in situ. You know, look, because the events are great. You know, and it's always great to catch up with people. But everyone's pretty busy. It's a bit manic, you know. Sometimes the stand next door's got some booming R&B going on while you're trying to have a conversation about work. So one of the things that we do like to do is go to sort of visit the operators in their countries, you know, have that quality time with them where you can have a proper conversation.
And have those insights we're talking about. Yeah.
And as is the Kalamba way, we'll always be happy to, you know, go out for a nice meal and have a few beers as well.
Yes.
You know, because that is important. And, you know, that's again that's more about getting to know the people you're dealing with. It's, you know, that's, which again is met a lot of really cool people. You know, and I hope that I'm sure that will continue. But yeah, a lot of people that I'll be more than happy to socialise with, which, you know, you can't ask for more than that in work, in my opinion.
You seem very happy, both of you. I like it. It's nice.
I'm actually
Friday.
I'm actually 19 years old. Why not? Like, it's just constant. No, it is. It's you know, I love the industry. It's dynamic. It's exciting. Sometimes it's a bit of a hamster wheel, but you know what? It is so rewarding. You know, John and I, we talk about this a lot. It's incredibly rewarding seeing an idea develop and come to fruition.
Yes.
And you know the pieces of the puzzle. You're trying to figure out where they fit.
Yeah.
And you know intrinsically that what you're doing is the right thing and you're on the right trajectory. And now we're starting to see that. It's incredibly rewarding. And to see partnerships flourish, to see individuals in the company who've come in there as juniors now coming in, becoming seniors.
Absolutely.
Incredibly rewarding to see that, right? And, you know, for me, I consider myself very lucky to work in such a fascinating and dynamic industry, to work with incredible people as well. I mean, I think that really is a core principle of our culture, is just the people that we work with, you know. Very blessed, very lucky. And, long may it continue. I mean, it's a high pressure environment, but it's incredibly rewarding. And I couldn't think of doing it any different, to be honest.
No, I could agree more. Yeah, it's been good. I came into it late, and actually, I'm quite glad glad in a way that I think I learnt a lot in, you know, from, as I said, from other industries, which has very much helped me in the industry. I'm not sure I'd probably still be alive if I'd have come in at the age of 20, but but yeah, I'd have probably been burnt out by now.
Yes.
But
I always sorry, just to add to that, but like in our office, in the commercial office, on our whiteboard, we've got two things written down that I probably say ad nauseum to the team, and they freaking probably mock me behind my back every time I say it. But I've got written on the board: if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yes.
Very simple principle. Yes. And we're not saving lives.
Yes.
And we're not.
No.
We tend to think of ourselves as so important, and we know we work in this massive industry, and you know, egos and agendas. It's like at the end of the day, we're selling slots. We're not saving lives. What we do is not rocket science.
No.
And it comes down fundamentally, in my opinion, to relationships with people. And it's really as simple as that. That's the industry we're in, is relationship building.
I think it is. Now, talking about relationship, where in the UK are you based?
I live in Shrewsbury, so it's a little market town on the English-Welsh border, not far from Birmingham.
Okay, and because Kai lives in Malta. In Malta, you can just walk around the beach, and then you're gonna bump into someone, and this someone might be a person you haven't spoken with in a month, and you know, out of the bat, you're gonna schedule a meeting and say, yeah, we need to catch up. I think that this is the beauty of Malta when it comes to building relationship, the proximity, the vibrant. I would say proximity. Sorry, and density.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you very likely will bump into someone.
Sometimes too much density.
So you need to be a little bit careful about what it is that you do or say, because then it can, you know, it could turn against you. Yeah. Indeed. How about you? How do you handle your distance? It's personal, but how do you handle your distance?
It's a good question.
To actually enhance these relationships.
It's a good question, and I have to be honest, I don't see any impact whatsoever. I think with all the different communication, the far too many, one would say, communication channels that you have, and you know, obviously Zoom, you know, on Zoom calls, you know, Kai, myself, and Kai, and and all the team, we talk continually anyway. So you're absolutely right. Don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously Malta, there's a lot of people in Malta, but there's a hell of a lot of people that aren't in Malta that we deal with, you know, as well. So, you know, and I think, you know, I'm incredibly fortunate in terms of pretty much most of the people that we deal with, if I need to have a conversation, if I want to have a conversation with them, I can reach out and they'll actually agree to have a conversation with me, which is nice. So
I speak to John more than I speak to my own mother. Let's just put that into perspective. Yeah. So I'm chatting with John every day, and to be fair, you're here at least once every second month. So again, it's just a quick flight from the UK. So
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, not everyone is based here, and we use that time when John is here to meet with a lot of our clients. But I think also post-COVID, the dynamics of that changed a lot. It used to be a lot of direct. I'll take you to lunch. I'll take you to dinner, and there's still a place for that. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot more efficiency now. With I think that the dynamics of the business changing, where it's all a lot of companies have gone fully remote. We have a hybrid model, which I think is probably the best way to do it, where you've got half in the office, half out. But yeah, certainly the communication access to clients has never been better, because just hop on a call, and that is now the kind of standard now. It's just we'll do a Teams call quickly, and I still love, because I'm quite a personal person, I like to be in front of someone and have a conversation with them. So wherever I can, that's my preferred way to communicate with people, is to meet with them and have an actual discussion. And it's a great part of having the villa is people love coming over there for a drink and a swim. It's a very kind of chilled environment. It's very easy to have discussions. It's not corporate, and we don't see ourselves as a formal or corporate company. It's not it's not our style, So we're very much authentic and relaxed, and come over, have a beer, let's have a chat. But yeah, there's not really any obstacles to meeting whoever you want to meet. Everyone is a short flight away. I mean, sometimes I have to go to South Africa, which is not a bad thing, because some of our customers are there.
You're going back
I get to go back home. Yeah, it's awesome. Exactly. So, but yeah, it's pretty easy to interact with our customer base.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah. Great. Well, thank you very much for coming in here today. It was a really great conversation. Very much looking forward to seeing you again, probably at one of the next conferences, maybe during another spotlight. Wishing you a very nice trip back to the north of the UK. Yeah. Take a little bit of sun with you. It's fine. Sharing is caring.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would love that to be the case. I don't think that will happen.
John is finding this hot, by the way. When we were having breakfast, he's like, "Oh, it's so bloody hot." Whereas I've got my friggin' parka jacket.
Honestly, I got on yesterday. Shorts on, t-shirt. These guys are like, hoodies. I'm like, yeah. That to be fair, that's one of the funniest things, when the guys are moaning about how hot it is, and then it's getting a bit cold now, and it's like 25 degrees. It's like in the UK, everyone's having barbecues in 25 degrees.
This is it. Yeah. But Kai, thank you very much. Really much looking forward to seeing you on one of the streets around, maybe in Nashar.
Of course.
Who knows?
Yes, but, we'll do another coffee.
Very good. Absolutely. We should.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for
Cheers.
listening.
Ciao.
Bye-bye. Ciao.